touch and feel. Is it wrong? Is it right? Hey, that's for you to judge and decide. But what's up? I'm Russ, and it's morning time. Welcome again to another installment, another edition of our weekly dividend communion that we get to have and share together. I so very thank you for being here. Man, run downstairs, running, packing, getting things to go together, stumbling over my words, mouth full of marbles. And good morning, Jim, Frank, Shannon, Mr. Coyote Sunglasses. You with me? You here? You live? We're going to talk some interesting stuff, I hope. I'm in my NASCAR gown, gear, whatever that Freudian slip was. I don't know. It's a gown, right? Yeah, would you take financial advice from a guy in a cutoff Misfits shirt with tattoos? Probably not. Not a good, smart thing to do. So we'll just preface it by that. And I'm going to say this is my passion, my hobby. Passive income is a hell of a drug. I'm an addict, full blown, and just excited to be here with you guys. So, hey, we are what we are. I am who I am. I am what I am, I think is what another sailor, a famous sailor had. So shout out to that famous sailor and his spinach. DGI Crab, nice to meet you, man. I checked out one of your videos, so check out the crab. You got that smoking crab there. So, yeah, I'm going to the NASCAR street race in Chicago. It's a big doings. If you are a veteran or you know somebody who's a veteran or a first responder, get them on vettix.org. Let me put that in the chat just in case you didn't understand or you're watching on replay. Vettix.org. First responders, they have one for them too, but veterans, people, venues, groups, they donate tickets and we get them as veterans. Sometimes when there's a lot of demand, there's a lottery system, but put it in perspective. For these 4 tickets I got for the Chicago street race this weekend, it cost me $16.97. And that's just the will call fee. So about $4.24 to be exact per ticket. And it's just going to be fun. I'm not that big in the race. So let me know if you'll be watching, if any of you are into racing, but before we get into it, all I want to say is that one of the friends I'm bringing with that I was hoping to get them for, going through a bit of a rough patch right now in his life, and just thought, get a weekend away, take him out there. So we got him, my wife, and my brother-in-law all going, and it's going to be a good time. I also got him a hotel room, got us 2 rooms with credit card reward points. God bless him. So we're going to be spending the night in Chicago. So hence, I don't know what time I'm getting home tomorrow night, so we're doing it right now live here this morning. So, Kevin, what's up, man? How's your portfolio looking? I want to show you guys something interesting I came across. By the way, tell me what you bought. Let's see what you bought, your biggest dividend payer this week. For me, I'll start with that. Then I'm going to get back in the chat with you guys, but I have 2 fun things to share. Why don't we start with what I bought this week? So I was working on the newsletter. I'm going to have to finish it from the hotel tomorrow morning. Look at this. We got sunshine coming in and, whitewashing the screen a little bit. Bean counter. What's popping, man? What's crack-a-lacking? So I'm going to share with you guys what I bought. I got to share the screen first because otherwise you people out there, where's Shamir when you need him? It's probably too early for him, right? So here's what I bought. Sorry, I was working on the newsletter here. So this is a little bit, you're getting a little bit peek behind the scenes here. Gosh darn it. Let me change my, get you more real estate here, make myself small. Hey, there we go. Hey, there we go. So the dividends received this week, only 3 payers, $205 worth. SCHD hit us at $133.50. SCHG, $1.60, and Vici $70. SCHG keeps running up. I was hoping to get about 25, 30 shares of that. I got to 15 in the low 90s. I was buying high 80s, low 90s, and the dang thing just keeps running up and up and up. And every time I think it's not going to go much higher, it surprises and gets pulled up by, the big magnificent 7 or whatever, 8 or whatever the top is now. But Yeah, so far I've received $4,000 this year in dividends, so nice. But we've been doing a lot of consolidating. Sold 54 more shares last week, or this week still, it's Saturday, of AT&T at $18.90. Fully exited out of Lyondell-Basell, which is what I talk about in the newsletter. So, hey, spoiler alert, I guess those of you aren't going to have to open it, but yeah, whatever. So I sold those, and then what we bought right there coming at you, 8 shares of Agreed Realty at $61.78. One more share of Visa, $2.64. Man, I got excited. I was thinking we might see the 250s. Nope. Right back up around $2.70. Another share of SCHD. I used some of those dividends to buy another share. 13 shares of Nike. I know it's been a point of contention with some of all of you. Don't like it. At $75.78, which now it's right around a 52-week low once again, and a multi-year low. And then wrapping up, 7 more shares of Starbucks, trying to work my way to 100, and 18 shares of Vici Properties, ticker VICI. So that's what we bought. And then I'm going to share this tab. I didn't put this in the link, but you can search best global brands in a brand. So I thought this was kind of cool, and you guys might get a kick out of this. So they, for 2023, ranked the best global brands, how iconic these brands are, and number one, it's no surprise. There we go. So number one, we've got Apple. Number 2, Microsoft. Amazon, Google, Samsung, oddly enough, was number 5. But check this out. What we were just talking about Nike, but number 9, Nike cracked the top 10 of most iconic global brands. So we talk about investing the intangibles, things that are harder to put an exact number on. All these brands on your screen right now are absolutely indicative of that. So interesting, car dealers crack 3 in the top 10, but Nike. So they do the top 100. So you guys can, we won't sit here and go through all 100 as much as I'd love to. And Louis Vuitton. No, which one did Ryan? I watched this video. He just put one on there. So, there we go. That was the top 20. But you can click this right here and then see the top 100. You got IKEA in there. Okay, enough of that. I'm here to talk to all y'all, and I want to hear what you guys are saying, what you buying, what you thinking, what you doing this weekend. It's weird. It's an early Monday morning here. Man, a lot of you in the house. Love it, love it, love it. For me, Coyote, it is, but hey, if it's your weekend, I won't judge. Some people, what do they say? You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. So there you go. I'll be cracking one later, but it's just, I'm more of a late afternoon, early evening alcohol consumer. All right, what'd you get? What'd you get, Jim Betts? Oh, look at this. He's still buying Pfizer. Any of you out there other than Jim still buying Pfizer? I don't know. That one, I could be wrong. And for your sake, I hope I am wrong, but I wouldn't be buying Pfizer. Oh, nice, Jim. Look at you with the $134 from Vici. Yeah, I was reading Vici. I don't think is the biggest. They might be. How do I want to say this? Maybe I should have not skimmed the article I read, but I think by volume, at least by hotel rooms, MGM, ticker MGM Properties, is the biggest. And I know that Vici acquired MGM Growth, right? MGP, I think, was the ticker that used to be. But yeah, they were talking about how the Mirage did about 1 million booked hotel rooms in the fiscal year of 23. 1 million hotel room stays just at the Mirage. So if you don't know, the Mirage is closing down and it's going to become the Hard Rock. I think spring of 2027 is when that's looks cool. The hotel is the body of a guitar. Looks really, really sleek. But it's going to be a few years until that opens up. So where's all that money going to go? It's going to probably be dispersed throughout some of the other properties. So get to say hello to all you guys. What's up, man? I want to give a shout out. Marcus, what's up, man? Good to see you in here, buddy. Good to see you in here. And what else do you guys got going on? Here we go. DGI Crab, same with me, buying Nike, Hershey's, Starbucks, American Waterworks, right? Waterworks, or is it American Water? More Mickey D's and MKC. That's McCormick and Company, right? The one that does the spices. If it is McCormick and Company, yeah, no, because MCK I think is McKesson, the healthcare, but MKC is McCormick. They do spices. They got Cholula. Shout out to them. They got Cholula out there. You ever put Cholula or hot sauce in yogurt? I don't, because that's disgusting. But if you do, and that's what you like, hey, I'm not going to judge. I guess I just did, right? I said that's disgusting. McDonald's, I bought more for my kids. It's right around 52-week lows. So we added a few fractional shares to their positions. Shannon, buying Visa along with me. What's up, Janice? Very good to see you. I think you're up there in Wisconsin, right? Yeah, hey there. We'll be up at the German Fest up in the end of July. Staying up overnight there. And Kevin Burgess. Dude, you fooled me, man. I was all ready. My daughter has bowling on Monday nights, so I've been listening to you from the bowling alley while they're wrapping up. And your video, dude, I was like, I saw it 8 o'clock, no, 7 o'clock at my time. It popped up, and I was like, oh, here we go. Clicked it, and it was a video. So I did put that book on my watch list, though. But Kevin, what's up, man? You fooled me. I thought I was getting to get a live show. Fast Eddie buying Sirius XM. That one I know Berkshire still owns, and I don't know. I get it for free because somehow I've lucked ass backward into buying the lifetime. This must have been 2007 or 2008, and I think it was still XM. They did a lifetime subscription. I think it was $399, and I remember at the time I was like, well, I know I'm not the smartest tool in the shed here, but sharpest tool in the shed. How many smart tools are there in your shed? Well, with AI, I don't know. There might be a few now, but I remember thinking like, I'm paying what, like $40 a month or whatever it was, $30 a month. I just did the math. So I did it. I bought the lifetime, and then a few months later, they didn't offer it anymore. So yeah, it's going to be going on 20 years soon that I've just had XM, Sirius XM, once they merge together. So I don't know. I don't know who still buys it and pays for it. Apparently people do, but I got it for free, or not for free. I have the lifetime until it goes away. Nice. Daryl. Check out Daryl's channel as well, man. He sold Vici. No, excuse me. Vici was your biggest payout of the week. I was reading Kevin's comment here out of his portfolio. He sold out of LyondellBasell last year and bought BP instead. So you guys got any questions for me? What do you want to know? I'll answer anything within reason, Not necessarily going to answer any, sexual questions or things like that, but how about this? I asked this to the Dividend Talk podcast. What is the most unique or interesting place that you've thought about dividends? And of course, my guy, EDGI, European Dividend Growth Investor, said, I don't think I've thought about them during sex, but anyway, that's not wrong, is it? Hey, that's where kids come from. If kids are listening, So anyway, Kevin, you sold out of LyondellBasell and bought BP instead. Probably a better idea. And as I'm going to share in the newsletter, that LyondellBasell, they turn fossil fuels into petrochemicals that become plastics, even clothing, automotive. It's just everywhere. But they're so heavily tied to oil and gas commodity that the prices can fluctuate wildly. And it's just, they're less in control of their destiny than I would say like a BP is, or a Nike, where I'm putting my money. So yeah, we got rid of LyondellBasell. I had about a 7% yield on cost on those shares, but I must be either I'm learning, but I like to think I forgot the end of that. That's something Charlie used to joke with Warren on. I can't think of it now. He used to joke with Warren, either he's learning or something else. I don't know. Completely flipped my brain. Hey, it's almost time for me to just go for 2 days here of just relaxation and being in the city I love, with not the politics, and sometimes Chicago can be a little crazy, but we're all better for it. Anyway, so Greg has lived a few miles from Long Beach Grand Prix. Is that's the F1, is it? Is that F1? My brother-in-law, big fan of F1. So we're talking about, we were planning a family trip to London and Edinburgh. So basically Scotland and England next July. And there's an F1 race in the beginning, right around 1 year from now, Independence Day of our Independence Day, not theirs, obviously. They have an F1 race, and my brother-in-law wants to see it, but I think he said in Vegas it was something $700 a ticket. I know they have one in Austin, which I could say hello to my guy Harris, which he's doing okay. I talked to him; he's still coming along. Interesting, Frank. Yeah, I could see Disney being on top. That is one heck of an iconic brand. You guys know Walt Disney used to practice his name for when he became successful. He wanted that signature to be iconic. And his father tried to dissuade him from being a cartoonist and an artist. Back in the day, he's like, no, look, he's like, you got to drop this art stuff. Art smart, you're not going to go anywhere with it. You're never going to become anything with this cartoons, which is funny because I've also read that about Jack Nicklaus. His dad said, Jack, forget golf. Like, you play it on the weekend as a hobby, but you think you're going to make money in it. The odds are against you. Just come on, man. He's like, get serious, get a real job. So one has to wonder how many potentially great people took somebody's advice. And that's why they say, I guess this could be a knock against myself, but you should never take advice from somebody that hasn't been where you want to go. And a lot of our parents and relatives, friends and family, while they may have our best interests in mind, if your mom and dad have never been a millionaire, if they've never had a net worth of $1 million, they may have had millions of dollars come through their hands over the years, but if they've never had a net worth of $1 million, should we really be taking their advice on how to be millionaires? Does that make sense? So I'm close. Hey, we're getting there. So trust me, it's already in the works. You're going to see a shift as soon as I hit a net worth of $1 million. Baby, everything's going to be the millionaire welder, the millionaire this, the millionaire that, because that's the street cred people want to see. So, hey, we're going to play on that hard, right? I guess I could just say it now, because isn't that silly? People say they're a millionaire, but how many of these people are being audited? I don't know. Anyway, so as we just rattle and prattle on, I did have I had a commenter, and let me know what you think if you don't mind, but I had a comment some time ago that tuned into the live stream, and they said, wow, that was just an irrational stream of consciousness spit at me for an hour or something. I think they were kind of brotherly love teasing. I'm not sure, but All right. Cisco and IBM still alive. Yeah, we were talking about the top. Yeah, I'll put this in the chat. Let me just copy this link. The best the best global brands. I think my brain was mishmashing as I try to do 5 things at once. I'm talking to you. I'm clicking on a tab. I'm copying a link to paste it, trying to sound intelligent. So it's kind of like my brain it gets to the point where it's like, oh, buddy, like you're overloading me here. I can't do it. It's like the fembots in Austin Powers, right? Just, it's too much. Take a breath, slow down. So there you go. That's the link for the 100 top global brands. Now, that would be interesting. Some of you can take this, maybe how many of those pay a dividend? Which of those global brands are the best dividend growth stocks to buy right now? I'm going to have to remember that, because that might be a future video. Best global div growth. Sloppily written down. Okay, moving along, everybody. Hey, did you watch Ian Lopik's new video on SCHD? Remember when everybody was all about SCHD on YouTube? I remember. What's the South Park? Smucker's members, right? The member berries, wasn't it? I think I'm confusing 2 things. You bought Vichy Kroger and Hess, right? HESM. Aren't they being acquired by Pioneer, or am I thinking of something else? Hey, Phil B, nice to see you, man. you do think that the company, oh, you bought $500 worth of Nike share. I thought you said shoes. I was going to say, good, good, good. Thank you for contributing to our dividend income. But when I'm at this race, I'm going to be paying attention to how many people have Nikes on. And I know Hoka and On Brands, right? Hoka's Deckers and On is On It. I think that's its own company, but I done let my tea go on cold out of my dad mug. But you don't think, Phil doesn't think that the company's dying 20 plus years. I think this is going to be, in my opinion, a temporary solvable problem. To put it in a nutshell, my thoughts on Nike is that they pushed current management. John Donahoe, their current CEO, took over from Mark Parker, who had been in the business since 1979 as a product designer, worked his way all the way up to CEO. And yeah, I don't know why they went with John Donahoe, but it was kind of reminiscent of Bob Swan, who was the chief technical officer at Intel when he was the CEO. And sometimes I think some financial guys just, they don't fully grasp everything that needs to be grasped, right? Because Pat Gelsinger, the current CEO, he used to be the CTO. It's alphabet soup of acronyms, right? The chief technical officer. So he was into the designing of chips. He had his hands in that. He was in the trenches with the troops, so to speak. So we'll see. I think Intel could still be great. They got a ways to go, but where was I going with that? Oh yeah, John Donahoe. He was the CEO, I think, at PayPal, and he had some big position in PayPal, but I think I forget the other tech, but he was tech, right? Like tech. So interestingly, when COVID happened, everything shifted online. That's when Nike, remember, they pushed hard into the DTC, the direct to consumer. They wanted to cut out the middleman. Remember when Foot Locker's shares just fell through the floor when Nike announced this? Well, it's come back to bite them in the butt because for whatever reason, the consumer decided we want to go shopping. We want to go to brick and mortar retail stores. And that really has hurt Nike's digital sales, which they pushed into. So they've kind of had to, with hat in hand, go back to some of these wholesalers like Journeys and Foot Locker and whatnot. But that is one thing that really put them behind. And then the innovation, they really fell behind in running with, again, Hoka and On. I'm not a runner. I was going to have Craig, which I should have invited him on this. Dang it. Next week, SCHD Stan, because he actually worked in Nike retail. So, what was I saying, everybody? Complete blank brain right now, but it was good. It was going to be a nice, with the bow on top, wrapped all up. Oh, the innovation. Historically, when Nike puts the full force and weight of the company behind their innovation, which they're doing now, boom, good things happen. And one of the running things that's coming is the Pegasus 41. I think that's going to be their answer to On and Hoka. It's got the big sole. I'm not a runner. I don't know, but apparently they're popular. So that plus the Olympics is going to be a bunch of free showcasing, more advertising for Nike. And anyway, so that's a long way of that. I love it. Bean Count has a tub of ice cream and some research to do. What kind of ice cream, Mr. Bean Count? We're going to fly through these. Hey, 51 of you are here with me on a Saturday morning. How freaking cool is that? Chris, what's up, man? He's all swole. Is that a pejorative? I used swole around my kids and they seem to think it was a pejorative. I don't know. But I was in the Navy with a guy who used to tease the bodybuilders and say like, wow, looks like you can lift heavy things repeatedly and you got pretty good at that. It's funny, but it's true because once you stop lifting the heavy things, let's just say I have an acquaintance that was just jacked, and then married life and a bunch of kids happened, and now not so much. He's still big. Let's just say he's big, but not like back in the day when Hey everybody, welcome to Dapper Dividends Bodybuilding Talk. We're going to talk about swole versus what happens when you're no longer swole. We are not going to talk about that. Kevin wants to buy more IBM to get exposure to quantum computing. That's funny, man. I had thought that too, but I don't know what the demand is for quantum computing, right? That's something we're always having to think about, is the supply and the demand. A lot of us like to think about demand, but you also got to think about supply. It's always the yin and the yang. I don't know what that is, but that's apparently supposed to be a visual representation to you of the yin and the yang. Proprietary information that I just came up here, and this is the kind of hard-hitting analysis you come to this Dapper Dividends YouTube channel live stream for. Everybody. What are your guys' thoughts? Does anybody have experience with quantum computing? Because that's one of those things that goes in my too hard pile. Okay, I was right. American Steaks Water. Steaks? Did I say steaks? Let's get some steaks. McCormick and Company. Good. Old Swami G. He bought Visa. A.O. Smith. Very interesting, right? They do water heaters? Not electrical. I think water heater, right? Texas Instruments, Comcast, Intel, we were just talking about, and Lowe's. Nice. Check the spice rack, y'all. Yes, you're going to have that. Bean Count. I don't know NGG and Realty Income he bought. Bean Count is moving house soon. Very interesting. My wife and I have talked about, we're still in our starter home. We moved in here in 2005. It's going to be 20 years in next year because from 2005 to 2025 is 20. That's 20 years. See, that is what you get with a Cook County education I got. But I joke, I kid. So yeah, I don't know what happened. We have fun, and then we had kids and have fun. And before you know it, 20 years has gone by. As I look around this room I'm at, we have some remodeling to do. We moved into this place after a couple of years. We gutted rooms. We did all this stuff. And now it's funny. My wife was like, we need to do this and that and this. I'm like, we just remodeled. She's like, babe, it was like almost 20 years ago we did this remodeling. I'm like, oh, I think you're right. Plus we've had kids. We've had some flooding in the basement here years ago that we took care of. I'll tell you, man, kids will tear up your house when you got two little kids, but we have teenagers now, right? And as I ramble on to you, all I say to our kids is that they are, we still got all these old toys and stuff. I don't know why we have some of these little kid toys, but my kids, I say nowadays, all they need is a chair, a bed, and an outlet. They're good, and some food. They always want to be on their laptops, and it's something I don't understand. I don't get it. I played games, but they hang out with friends. Do your kids do this? Or do you know any kids that last night they were, I think, doing Fortnite or something? My kids are 16 and 15. But I was like, I used to see my friends and they're like, we are with our friends. I'm like, where are they? Apparently they were all connected and talking, and I don't know. I don't get it. That's Cholula, Swami G. Don't dare you there. Okay, you corrected yourself. What's up, Alfonso? I'm going to go quick here and get caught up. I know I say it. We still have some news to get to. We'll do that at the bottom of the hour here, or the top of the hour. It'll be 11, right? It'll be 10:30. I'm all twisted up in my time. Bought MMC. I don't think of that off the top of my head. And Visa. Any thoughts? Visa, solid. Probably a great buy here. I think that their earnings, their revenue, their free cash flow per share, everything is just going to keep increasing year after year. And if that's the case, then this will look like a good bargain at this price. MMC, I don't remember that. Tony, I don't think I've seen you before, so very quick. I'll do this for you, and then since we'll be there, we'll do news. So I apologize that you guys were... I hate it. I don't want to use that word hate. I'll use odio, right? And that's in Espanol. But I don't know. Sometimes when I talk on a chat, like you guys are watching me, I'll make a comment and then 20 minutes later they get to my comment. I'm like, but I just made that a long time ago. So Yeah, Tony, for you, let's do that, and then I'll do the news real quick. It's just Simply Save news because we could do an hour on news. So whatever they put here, there's little bits here. Yeah, I got this. Okay, there we go. So Sonoco, ticker SON, they were dividend downgraded. This is one I looked at a little while ago, but they're inside of SCHD, I believe. So that was downgraded. They Simply Safe Dividends, this is, by the way, refreshed their outlook on ExxonMobil, which my yield on cost is almost 9% because I bought a lot of those during COVID. They reaffirmed the dividend safety score on GlaxoSmithKline, which they are having legal uncertainties amid Zantac. I don't know about that it could cause cancer. Very interesting. That's something, if you own GlaxoSmith, you might want to look into that. There it is. They reaffirmed their safety score on Nike of 99, very safe. And again, almost a 2% yield. It's 88% above the 5-year average. I'm buying. I'm sold. I like what they're doing. They're going to turn it around. It's a fantastic company, really good margins. And then lastly, there you go. They refreshed their outlook, which an outlook means that they have a whole individual write-up proprietary to Simply. Didn't someone say as soon as you hear someone use the word proprietary, you should run the other direction? But honestly, this is good. They give their own opinion on that. And then Tony wanted to look up MPX, which is Marathon Petroleum. Oh, wait, you said let me look at it, make sure I got this right. Yeah, MPX. Dude, I've covered MPX. So what they do is boats, like Robalo boats. Very good looking company, actually. They've been on my watch list. They always, only $9.36 a share. So fiberglass power boats, Chaparral, and I thought it was Robalo. Robalo outboard sport fishing boats. So I guess in a recession, this could probably, like that in the recession, it's yucky because who's buying boats when people trying to put food on the table? But yeah, very fast dividend growth. And there you go. So anytime there's any kind of economic uncertainty, they cut it in COVID, they cut it in the Great Recession, and then dividend was kind of non-existent there for a while. But dividend's been frozen. Kind of what turned me off. They don't grow it lately. But they did pay a special dividend of 70 cents in May of this year. But yeah, free cash flow payout ratio is pretty low. Obviously, in coming out of COVID, they had understandable. So this, always take things into context. What happened? So I give that it was a bit of a black swan drop there. They had no cash coming in the door. Yeah. Negative 2 cents a share when the full effect of COVID was happening, and then they bounced right back. So bounce back with a vengeance. Look at that. Everybody wanted to get out and buying boats, apparently. So yeah, it looks like a solid company. Shares outstanding have mostly been flat. They dilute a little bit. I think their debt, I think they had no debt. Let's see. ROIC, return on invested capital. Usually you want to see 15% is a good benchmark because then they're probably outpacing the cost of capital. So 15% is a good benchmark. So that's really good. Same thing with ROE. No net debt. They have no net debt. So very interesting. I would dig into the business. I have it in one of my watch list portfolios. So there you go, Tony. I do think that marine products looks super, super interesting. I hope you enjoyed that, man. The Netherlands, Vincent. What's up, man? I haven't seen you before. I'm going to give you the salute. And by the way, people, if you're going to salute, don't block the sun out of your eyes or do stuff like that. I know I've taught you, but this area, come on, focus. That area right there in between, right here, that goes to the corner of your eye for a crisp salute. And if you have a hat on, it goes to the brim. You don't touch your anyway. Why are we talking about that? I don't know. When are any of you going to need to know how to properly salute? But, now you do. Now you do. What's up, John? Realty Income or Vici? Wait, does Realty Income or Vici are what they're seeing risk of interest rate fluctuations? Yeah, absolutely. That's why they're so down. The REITs are very, very intensely tied to interest rates. I mean, for them, I don't know. It's like gravity. The higher the rates are, the more it's going to affect their business because the cost of capital, it's going to really mess up the IRR on their investment. So yeah, interest rates are very, very, very critical to REITs. And it's one of the reasons we're getting a great buying opportunity, I think, but I'm being patient because the rates, it makes it harder for them to get a bigger return on money that they have to borrow, or a lot of debt they have to refinance. Those are all going to affect it. And then just the nature of people that are strict income investors, they don't care about growing it. They want to preserve their capital, but also receive income. Why would you put it into realty income, when you can get a treasury, if you can find one yielding 5 or 6%, whatever it is? It just doesn't make any sense. So higher interest rates suck a lot of investors out of the REITs. And that's just one. But when they start cutting, I have a feeling they're going to come back. So I think that the quality REITs are a good time to buy now. And I think a lot of the inferior ones have been weathering the storm. But if this higher for longer prolongs, man, I think there could be some trouble with some of these lesser quality REITs, just like anything, right? You can't just say, it's a REIT, I'm buying it. No, it's every business you have to individually assess. And if you don't want to, just buy VTI, which my wife, we looked at hers, $50 a week since December. We've been putting for her Roth into VTI. She's up about 8.5% since then. And I'm not. So those are the things we talk about. But yeah, I'm getting a lot bigger dividend income. So, hey, but that's not on a total return basis. That's just share price. My voice is giving out. All right, Daryl, you drove a NASCAR in the NASCAR experience. Well, if I drive a NASCAR today, I'm probably going to jail. So I don't think I'll be doing that. How was it? Good time? All right. Fuhat, you're sleeping on Aries. Are you saying I'm sleeping on Aries or you're sleeping on Aries? Because I haven't bought any Aries. Okay. Jeez Louise, I got to get caught up. Holy Christ. So I am skipping through. I like this. All right. So we got some Intel. Frankie said Cisco is trying to recover. It's still a good company, but we worry. Do you guys think NVIDIA is going to be like an Intel? Because it still hasn't gotten to where it was in the spring or summer of 2000, right? Man, I wish I could have invested in some businesses back in 99, 2000. Too bad we didn't know, right? I could have bought Amazon. Just think, all the money that a 21-year-old, yours truly, spent at bars, helping put some young ladies through college in gentlemen's clubs, just dance clubs, chasing girls. All my money, probably a good 95% of all my money just went to those things. But hey, we're young. I've got some experiences that, that I paid for. And compounded, it wasn't worth it. But maybe it was. I don't know. You can only be young once, right? The internet loves SCHD like Kanye loves Kanye. That's a good one, Crab. I like it. Fallen Zap, another Illinois brethren, I think, right? Long time no see. Oh, you're just getting off. Good. Yeah, and again, for those of you popping on, I'm doing this right now because I'm going to the NASCAR street race in Chicago, like literally. I don't know. My friend might be walking in any minute here, but we're going. It's today and tomorrow. So today's Xfinity, which is like the minor leagues, and tomorrow the race starts at 3:30. So I was kind of doing the math and thinking like, man, if everything went perfect, I'd be walking in the door at 8 o'clock, and I don't want to have to drop everything and just So I'm just doing it now, right? Add a little sauce to your life. We've been buying Melinda's. Shout out. I love hot sauces. Melinda's Sriracha. Good stuff. HESM is the midstream. Gotcha. So everybody that wants to know, you hear about upstream midstream and downstream, right? I'm probably going to get this confused. I know midstream is the transportation of the crude oil. So pardon me if this is wrong, but I think in a nutshell, upstream is when they pull it and extract it. And midstream is when they transport the crude. And then downstream is the processing and refining, and ultimately to the end user, like gasoline, like you pump out of the pump. So I think that is what, I think I explained that well. I hope I did. I don't know. If I didn't, please share your comments in the comments below, because you know where is it off to the side? I don't know. 4 new positions, Blaze. What's up, man? I like that name, Blaze. UPS, McDonald's, Nike, and CSX railroad stock. I've seen theirs. Watch Apologies to Jesse Jackson on South Park episode. I don't remember that one. I missed that. Nike shoes are well stitched. That's interesting. I've heard a few people that I've talked to say they don't like Nikes, but they're also going to be focusing on sub $100 pairs of shoes to help compete. Kevin, still driving from that beach, sold. Oh, you sold CMI. I can't think of what CMI is. I should know it. Cummins? Is that Cummins? You did, Kevin. Why'd you sell Cummins, man? What'd you put that into? That's one I've been waiting to buy. I'd like to own them too. LW, US Bank, and Raytheon. God bless you, Kevin. LW. Throwing some tickers at me, I don't remember. Oh, Lamb Weston. Okay. They do the fries. You finally bought it. Yeah, that yield's up there, man. So Lamb Weston, ticker LW, does fries. Kevin covered it on one of his live streams. And yeah, that's, I made the joke. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Funny Farm with Chevy Chase, but it's too perfect, where he goes and he sets the record for eating lamb fries, which are, I think, sheep testicles, I think, or goat. I don't know, but he didn't know anyway. Shannon, what's up, man? I'll drink to that out of my hypercolor Starbucks glass. Oh, look at this. We got Mom Talks Budget, MFA Financial. I've never looked at it. I wish I did have something for you, but we can only know what we know. It's a mortgage REIT, and Simply Safe has a dividend safety of 40 unsafe, but has a 13.2% yield. Yeah, I'm going to share it in my newsletter. Stephen Bavaria wrote the Income Factory, and he has a newsletter. So very interesting. It was a good refresher. I read the audio version of the book, but I'm going to read the book again. I'm going to buy it so I can mark it up and whatnot. But yeah, one of the thoughts about his high yielding, he looks at total return. That's all he's concerned with is total return. So for some of these closed-end funds he likes to buy, say it has a 15% yield on it, right? Well, if there's a 2% per year net asset value or share price erosion, then you're still getting 13%, which is beating historically the 10%, right, of the S&P. So as he says, math is math, but for me, pardon me, water, but I don't know enough about mortgage REITs. I tried looking into them a while ago. I think, what was the big one we always dunk on? It is, I can't think of it. It's one of the Annaly Capital, I think, yeah, ticker NLY. That's one that we always dunk on, but yeah, I couldn't understand it, so I didn't. I don't know. It's just out of my wheelhouse, so I wish I had something better for it. You have a YouTube channel, don't you, Mom Talks? By the way, I'd love to see it. There needs to be more females in finance. My girls and my wife just can't get into it. I've tried, but my prediction on the stock market, depending on who wins, I will tell you, John. Everybody get ready. With 100% certainty, depending on who wins the election, the stock market will still be there. That's my prediction. Because it's just, honestly, man, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Companies that are good companies are going to be good companies, and they'll still be good companies unless somehow we're going to privatize the entire economy. And, if that happened, that would be an effect. But nah, they'll be fine. So, oh, Bean, you says I talked about quantum computing. You said general AI and fusion are always 20 years away. That's something that that I think about with NVIDIA is kind of like television. When television exploded, or radios, when radios exploded onto the scene in the 20s and 30s, everybody bought a radio. Like, sales were nuts. But then once everyone had a radio, what happened? Sales went down because it's just not that initial boom. So I wonder if we're seeing that with NVIDIA, like the initial just mass demand and boom, but it can't be sustainable what they're doing. I mean, this may last for a couple of years, but eventually I think competition's going to come up, and I think sales are just going to start dying down, right? Who knows? We'll see. Pay off the house early. I was until rates went up. So the way I look at this is, so we have a stupidly low, we refied, we have a 2.25%. So if I pay any extra, I'm guaranteeing a 2.25% return, right, on that money. I'm going to do better, I would think, unless Nike sinks, buying Nike with a total return, or a J&J at a 3.5%, whatever the yield is now, that I think is going to do better. So if interest rates are stupidly low, or if your mortgage rate is stupidly low, I think it makes more sense to invest the money. And then we're going to get to a point where our taxable brokerage account is going to exceed what we owe on the house. And then I can decide, like, hey, do we want to pay off the house, just boom, one lump sum right now, and start over with the taxable, or what? It'll be an option, which is what money gives you, options. I know, it's just, all right, I am going to skim some of your comments, so I appreciate, exactly, stop the jibber jabber. And, all right, Mitza bought BMY and Vici. It's honestly what it is. I really do just, I think it's insane. I love it that you come here to comment and watch, and I just want to spend 20 minutes on every comment, and I can't. So, yeah, probably does. So no Nike comments for Jay. That's fine. I know somebody said, oh, she's biased. Dude, we're all biased about something. We all have a bias. I don't, even if you have no bias, right? Like Russ said in Tom Sawyer, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Kind of the same thing. You can't say you're not biased. Everyone has a bias to something. Kevin wants to buy more AOS. I'm getting there. I'm almost there. Yep. Bean says I lived a life. Hey, I lived a life and I paid for it, including some of these tattoos you see. Hey, me. All right, me. What's up? Wants to go over WBA. I'm gonna stay away. Watch this. I haven't even looked at WBA in a minute, but just for you, me, because I don't think I've seen you before around these parts. So watch this. I'm going to show you, John, and I know you said Hero was a bucket of yuck, but I disagree because it's a company that's coming up. But here, look at this, WBA. Why is it, sorry if that makes you dizzy, a bucket of yuck? Well, share price is the cheapest it's been since 1997. So, hey, look at that. I could go back into when I was in the Navy days and get Walgreens for the same price, right? Here we go. Dividend growth, right? They cut it. So they cut the dividend. They took a slasher movie axe to it. But yeah, that yield is just bleh. PE, $5.40 for every $1 of earnings at a fresh 52-week low. But I mean, look at that. Their payout free cash flow ratio went to 1,175%. Now it's negative 141. And yet earnings payout ratio still looks okay. But that's why I love to look at the free cash. The free cash. Negative. Look at that. It's just been dropping. So I don't know. It's a complete speculative investment for me. Sales still going up. Shares outstanding, at least they haven't been diluting. But see, remember what I talked about? Return on invested capital? Just low, really low. Yuck. Free cash flow margin obviously has been declining. But operating margin, all their margins are just gross. Net debt expected to be the highest it's been in the last 10 years. And their interest on the debt, yuck. That's another thing Stephen Bavaria talked about was when you buy a company, you're still betting they're going to be successful. But when you buy some of these closed-end funds that have invest in like CLOs, collateralized loan obligations, that invest in the debt instruments of some of the companies we invest in their equity, those are higher up on the totem pole. And it's just a bet that the company's going to remain in business. And a lot of times, even when earnings are down and all this, they still have to pay the interest on the debt because that is really bad if they don't. And bankruptcy will follow, insolvency will follow. And if it's insolvent, so businesses are going to do like whatever they have to do. The dividend will be cut if insolvency is being faced, which I think may have played a little bit into Walgreens. But yeah, man, I would not feel comfortable at all with Walgreens. John, your dad, shout out to your dad that he was a retired colonel. You grew up in the military. So good to see that. Kevin, I may have wasted thousands on baseball and football cards and hockey cards in the 90s, which is the dead era. Unfortunately, I love it. I look now because I still have a box of some of my favorites. But yeah, it says that the worst time to buy sporting cards was the late 80s to the mid 90s. I'm like, sweet. That's when I did all of my sport card buying. So I did waste money too. Yeah, it was, John, it's real hard to, if you have cards now, because now you can get like a Patrick Mahomes 1/1. They only make one card of it and it can sell for $1 million. But when we were buying cards in the late 80s, early 90s, it was all base sets, very few inserts. Everything was mass produced. Everybody, all of us saved everything because we saw the cards from the 60s, 50s, 70s were all worth something because everyone threw them out. Nobody had them. So again, what would we talk about? Supply and demand. We had demand, but the supply was massive. So when the demand is through the roof and supply is through the roof, prices are going to be low. It's just the way it goes. Nice of you to roll out of bed and make it in, Shamir. I tease, Shamir. I don't know who Tug McGraw is. Should I know who that is? He said half of it he'll spend on whiskey and women. The other half he'll probably blow. Well, I would assume that would be blowing all of it. But, you're buying experience. Kevin, if you're wearing a sombrero, it would have to be a military-approved sombrero, but it would just go to the rim. Even if it's out here, it would look ridiculous. It would never happen. But yeah, your hand would, it would still touch the brim of the hat, like kind of in line with your eyebrow there. So, Tadomi, I haven't been buying Hershey. I wanted to, but I've honestly felt less inclined to since it is inside of SCHD, right? I think it's one of the, let's see, I'm almost caught up. So, oh, look at this. We got, yeah, buddy. We brought the guns out, man. I think it's a top 10 holding in SCHD. Watch, everybody, as I look up the top 10 holdings for SCHD inside of seekingalpha.com. So this is inside of Seeking Alpha, and they have their top 10 right here, which is, it's not. Cisco, Texas Instruments, as of 7/4/24. So let's see if that's accurate, actually. Watch this. SCHD. Well, look it up here. I know, riveting, right? You get to watch me. So we'll just go right to the horse's mouth. And you can do this too. So you can go to SCHD, hit portfolio, and then do view all holdings. So here you go. This little pop-up you get Yeah, you guys can see this. So we got Cisco. Where is it? PepsiCo there. Oh man, it's down there. There it is, in between Fastenal and T Rowe. So it is 1.17% of the portfolio is Hershey's. So there you go. When you buy a CHD right now, the top holding is Cisco. Interesting. So there you go. So we got Hershey inside of SCHD, so I feel a little less inclined to buy it. I do remember the song "Radio" from Rancid. It was a little bit heavier played, right? Yeah, it's a weird thing, man. I bought a couple Rancid albums, and everybody in the punk world loved them, but to me, they were just. I like Matt Friedman, the bass player. I like, Lars Frederiksen's all right, but they just weren't my favorite. I don't know. Sometimes I'm not that big on Tim Armstrong's voice. I did like Operation Ivy, right? My oldest is named Ivy. Oh, that tea went cold. My goodness. And I just bit my lip. Look at that, everybody. Shot of cold tea and a bit lip. Can I have doubles? Right through the friction of the day. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, Jeremiah. Interesting. Oh, you sold it 4 years too late. Why? No longer believe in the company? I'm just curious what made you... Shannon, here we go. What you live by. When the prime interest rate is low, stocks will grow. When the prime interest rate is high, stocks will die. Dude, that is brilliant. I'm taking a screenshot of my screen so I can remember that. But that's awesome. Oh, fun story here. We're getting close to wrapping up, but this Misfits shirt that I made, cut the sleeves off of, it's from Walmart. I paid $8.98 for it. Yeah, so I was in Walmart and I happened to be walking by the men's clothing and I saw it and I was like, God. I'm like, the Misfits shirt is in Walmart. I've been listening to the Misfits since maybe like 1994. So I'm about 30 years listening to the Misfits. I'm like, and then I was looking, I was like, actually, you know what? This is cheap enough. I could just cut the sleeves off and wear that to the race. So plus I haven't had a Misfits shirt in forever. So there you go. Am I a poser, everybody? We want to hear your thoughts. Is Russ a poser for buying his shirt from Walmart? Jeremiah, Pfizer, I don't like it. I know Jim Betts is still buying. It's just their margins are looking awful. It just shows that they got a huge boost from COVID. But we're short on time. I'm not going to get into it too much. But I'm not buying it. I have no intention to buy it. I'm still buying J&J. That's my pharmaceutical play. But yeah, they can be hard, and I think, like Warren said, God bless him and God rest Charlie's soul, that when they buy pharmaceutical stocks, they say they don't have the faintest idea how to analyze what's in a company's pipeline, what drugs will be the next blockbuster drugs. So they like to buy a basket of pharmaceutical companies when they're trading at low valuations, quality ones, and just hold them for many years, because J&J eventually will have another blockbuster. They're going to have something, but there's litigation right now they're fighting through, and yeah. So, God, I'm catching up here, so I apologize that. Shout out to Ryan. Ryan, what, I mentioned something about you. Oh, which did you put on your watch list? Was it Louis Vuitton? Because we did the top brands. Did you see that, Ryan? So for any of you that just popped on, I'm going to do that one more. We'll do the top ones. I put this in the chat a little earlier, but it was on Interbrand. Hold on. I need to share the screen first, and I need to hide your comment, Mr. Williams. But this is old news. Surprise! These Interbrand does their top global brands, the iconic brands, every year, and they do 100, the top 100. So here we go one more time. Apple was 1. You got Microsoft, Amazon, Google. Samsung, interestingly, is number 5. But there we go. Number 9, we got Nike. Cracked the top 10. And just simple logo. This is a fun list to go through, but that's what made me think of it, Ryan. Louis Vuitton was, I don't know, LVMH, right? Is this the one you did? Dude, it was founded in 1854. And that's their brand value that they've calculated along the way. So there you go. That's interesting. This was a fun thing. I'm going to go through it more, but Nike, there you go. With the dunks. Dude's got the dunks there up one place. So it actually went up one spot. So that's that we put in the chat. So, or you could just do interbrand top global brands. Tug McGraw was an elite relief pitcher. Yeah, I don't remember him. Okay. I didn't want to say it, but yeah. That was LVMU, like LVMH's version of Berkby. Okay. Because when I hear Dividend Talk mention it, they always say LVMY, I think. Something like that. Yeah, Ryan, get the people from Interbrand on and see if they can tell you how Samsung is number 5. Probably because of the phones, right? My wife, my brother, my father-in-law, I think my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, I think both of my kids. You're noticing a pattern here. I think they all have Samsung phones. So I'm going to guess that's why they are that. Jeremiah wanted to get to this. You sold Nike because the yen kept going down. You reduced your holdings to 65. Wow. Yeah, interesting. Not a moat company. We could debate that. Not today, but I can understand and respect that, man. Yeah, good boost. So Samsung, right? They're all over the emerging markets, but yeah. Oh my God. Well, I got a race to get to. My guy, Cody, Citizen of the Year. I'm supposed to say hello to him. He's going to be at the race. We were texting. And he's faceless. He wants to remain anonymous. So I may see if I can talk him into a picture and then just put, smiley face over him or something. But hey, you'll see me with this with the Misfits shirt. But yeah, I'm going to be in Chicago this weekend. So again, no live stream tomorrow night. That's why we're doing it tonight. And yeah, it was so freaking cool for you guys to get up early, swing on by the channel and hang out while we do this unique brand of what we do around here. So, hey, we got a full week in the markets next week. We're into the second half of the year, right? Flying by, man. It's going to be time for football before we know it. But all right, I got to get a few more things ready. I got people coming to the house and we're about to jet set it out to the city. So, hey, I thank all of you so very much for spending a little bit of your Saturday and having another weekly dividend communion. Another weekly dividend communion with me. So have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and I will talk to you in the next video and live stream. So have a great one.